Okay, so after a small hiccup, we'll have on stage João Dinis, the office coordinator from Cascais Ambiente, and he's going to talk about innovative gamification solutions for smart waste management. Welcome to the stage, João Dinis.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for having me here today. I would like to thank the organization for inviting me today and share the innovative work on Waste4Think project. So sorry about this little problem. I wasn't expecting to go on so early, but it's okay. So basically, that's me. I work on climate change adaptation and environmental policies, sustainability overall. And I'm talking to you about the experience that we're having in Cascais. Well, Cascais in Europe, some cities in Europe, but we'll be focusing on the case study of Cascais. So this is Cascais. It's a lovely place. Have you ever been there? Raise your arm if you've been there. Okay. Have you ever stepped on dog poo? Yes? Why? Is it only me? No, that gentleman over there? Wow, lucky people. Yeah, okay. So Cascais is a beautiful city of 200,000 citizens. We are surrounded by the ocean, we are surrounded by the mountains, as you can see, and we try to make it as most beautiful as we can. 1/3 of this land is protected landscape. But like everything in a developing country, we produce waste. You all produce waste. Do you produce waste? Who produces waste? Everybody, okay. So who steps on dog poo? More people, all right, all right. Okay, the problem with waste is that we are not aware of the waste that we produce. Waste management is something that it's magical. It's completely magical. So we buy something, okay? We use that product, and when we don't use it anymore, we discard it. We go to the waste bin, we place it there, and it magically disappears. Remember WALL-E, the movie, the little robot? Okay, what did they do? Compacted the waste and shoot it into space. That's so fake, it doesn't happen, okay? That's a cartoon movie. It doesn't happen in reality. So what happens? Well, actually, it happens what we call the environmental externalities. When we buy a product without knowing the environmental impact, we are responsible for the environmental impact of the Earth. That's why we have climate change, because we drive our cars. It's our responsibility. We are co-responsible for this. When we buy something and we produce the waste, we are co-responsible for it. And we must be aware of that. And I don't know what the amount of waste I produce, this environmental or social externalities, because it's hidden from me. We don't understand that. We don't follow the process of waste production of the products, okay? So that's the problem that we have nowadays. Who wants an electric car? Okay, are you aware of the environmental externalities of the electric car? How much it produces? Okay, a few people. Okay, so let's go back to the project, Waste4Think, okay? We are a consortium financed by the Horizon 2020 program. It's financed by 10 million euros, so it's a lot of money, but there's a lot of innovation. Basically, what we're doing is we're trying to develop new ideas on how to engage citizens and to reduce their ecological footprints, okay? So there are 4 case studies with all these technological partners. The first one in Cascais, of course. The other one in Seveso, in Italy. So if you're in the environmental sector, you know Seveso is the city where they had a big environmental issue a few years back. So there's a new directive on that in Italy. So then we have in Spain, Zamunda, near Bilbao. Okay, so that's another city. And then we have in Halandri, near Athens, in Greece. So overall, we are engaging over 20,000 citizens on this project, okay? But let's go back to Cascais. Okay, 20,000 citizens, but, well, a bit less than 10%, that's for us. So what is the problem here? Well, we're trying to do a pilot. We're trying to do something that is fairly new. And what are we doing? So in Quinta dos Lombos, in Carcavelos, I don't know if you know Carcavelos Beach, which is that beautiful beach at the center, is a residential area that now they have the Nova University over there. And, well, there's a lot of tourism, obviously, there as well. So that's the pilot area. And what did we need to do? Okay, first of all is that we are doing a paid system. Paid means pay as you throw. Do you know how much, this is an important question, do you know how much you pay for your waste management? Who knows? Raise your arms. One person. You pay for the waste management in your water bill, okay? In Cascais, there are 18 trucks, 25 tons trucks, that every day go hundreds of kilometers to collect your waste. That's a lot of money. And you don't know how much you're paying for that. Okay. So now what happens is that you must be aware of what you pay, because you should pay more for your waste actually, but we'll go there soon. So what do we need to implement a pay? Pay as you throw, okay? Let's imagine, do you recycle? Yes, okay. So on my right, your left, this young lady recycles. And do you recycle? No, you don't. Okay. You're a liar. You're lying. The problem is, you pay the same. That's the problem. You pay exactly the same. That's the pay as you throw. If you recycle, you should pay less. You don't recycle, you should pay more. Do you agree? Yes. Of course. It doesn't happen. Okay? So why is that? Because if you recycle, you are putting more material back into the economy, not on the waste. Okay? That's what happens. So you pay less because you have less of an environmental impact. And we, the collectors of your waste, actually have to pay less to treat your waste. Now everything goes that way. So we have to pay a lot. And sometimes, well, mostly overall, we don't pay for the environmental externalities that I've mentioned. And that's a problem, okay? So the paid is to make sure that everybody pays according to the production. So a lot of you people that came from Northern Europe, probably you have this. This is something new. But what we have is fairly unique because we have a collective system. Because both of you use the same bins. You recycle, you don't, but you use the same bins, okay? So look at those bins. Those seem like normal underground bins, but they're not. Because as you can see, on the right side of each picture, there's a small equipment over there placed on the head of the bin. And that young lady as well, she's using an RFID key. Okay, so what happens is that you have household waste where you put all your wastes, your water, your food waste, your non-recyclable waste. That's called household waste. And you put it in one bin, the gray one. Then you have that one, which is the yellow one, where you put plastic and cans. And then you have paper and cardboard, which is the blue one. And then you have glass, which is the green one. What about the pharmacies? Your pharmaceuticals, where do you place them on these? You don't. You put it back in the F for pharmacy. I was thinking about that when I was there, yeah. Okay, but there's many more. There's many more that you should use. But most of them are actually here on these bins. So what happens is that we had to acquire these special bins where they have the RFID key, you put them in, you use them, and that's it. And now I know, like Big Brother-wise, how much money, how much waste you produce, and if you recycled or not, because there's filling sensors in that. And I know, watching you both, okay? So what happens is, if it's filled up, I get a warning, and the truck can collect it. If it's not filled up, there's no need for that. We save a lot of emissions on that, a lot of diesel, a lot of trucks, a lot of hours on that. So that's what we have, that's the equipment. Then the paid model. This is important, because apparently you don't know how much you're paying for the waste. You're paying a lot of money, okay? So in Cascais, it's more or less the following. You have a fixed rate, that it's more or less 4 euros. Let's say 4 euros because it's usually like that. That's the service that you pay for having a bin near your place that both of you use. That's the thing that you use. You pay for having trucks collecting it, and you also pay for the people that clean your street. That's the fixed in rate. But then let's say that you produce a lot of waste, or not so much waste, okay? And that's the variable rate. So how do we calculate that in your water bill? Because if we had a waste bill, you wouldn't pay for it. What would happen? Lock the bin? No. You just throw the garbage out and nobody could identify you. Now, if you don't pay your water bill, haha, we cut your water. That's an important utility. So the thing is, if you use a lot of water, you pay a lot of waste, and that's a problem. So let's say, for example, once again, she recycles. There's a family of 4 people. They produce a certain amount, 100 kilos of waste. You don't recycle, but it's only you. So that's not 100 kilos, it's 10 kilos. So now what? Uh-oh, now you have a problem, right? So that's a variable rate. Even if you help more the environment, despite producing more waste, you're helping the environment, you're helping the economy. But you pay a lot more because you use a lot more water. For people taking showers, drinking water, that's the problem that we have, and that's the problem that we have now. So the paid system is to go back from that, okay? So remember those 2 rates, the fixed rate and the variable rate, okay? So what is the problem? I know that a lot of people like you, it's not a problem, it's a challenge. It is a problem because it's illegal. We can't do that. Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, 10 million euros, bye-bye. That's a big problem for me because I'm the project manager. And the thing is, according to the law, I cannot make any differentiation from taxpayers, okay? You're worth just as much as he is. And that's the problem with the law. So, what's the solution? Let's think about it. What should be the solution? If we could only have a certain area or field of expertise that could help us to understand how to tackle this. Yeah, gamification. Gamification is actually the solution. And it was easy to get into this, okay? So let's see how gamification helps us. We have an app, ladies and gentlemen. It's called City Points Cascais. It's a city management app. I'm sure there's a lot of them like that in iOS store or in Android store. But let me tell you how this is used, okay? Let's convert those taxes that I've mentioned into points, okay? So there are types of points. So I'm going on the waste bin, I put on the household waste, and I use the key to open the bin, okay? So it's registered. I placed 1 time here, then I go to the other one, use it as well, and 2, and 3, and 4. And then what I have is, I have a sum of points for the waste that I produced, okay? I use this 4 times, I get 4 points. That's lovely, okay? So what happens is, if I use this continuously, so in over a month, if I produce waste 22 times, okay, I use that, and what happens is, I get bonus points. I get 5 bonus points. But the innovation as well of our system is that we are a collective system. So we use collective bins. So even if you recycle differently, okay, if the overall production of waste in the neighborhood is bettered, in the sense of there's more recycled or increased recycling levels, everybody gets 10 bonus points. Thus, gamification helped us. Why is that? Because we are working with the fixed rate. And what happens is, if you get at least 30 points or 31 points, plus the 5 bonus points, plus the 10 bonus points of the collective behavior, that's the equivalent of the 4 euros of the fixed rate. So you get a full discount on your fixed rate. And where can you use that points? Well, on municipal services. You can rent a bike for free. It costs 10 points. You can go and take your dog to the veterinary and have it washed for free. Or you can go to the museum with your family without paying. That's gamification, okay? But that's not all. This actually doubles, okay? Remember, this is a collective effort. What happens is, this is just an example, and that's the reason why we use the fixed rate, is because we needed to know exactly the amount of money that we would need to invest to convert the euros to points and the points to services. So we estimated that for 1 year, 12 months, we would have 70,000 euros of expense. So if you use your keys thoroughly, you would get overall 35,000 euros of discounts, okay, for the neighborhood. But we would double that, and we would give you 35 as well in any equipment, any infrastructure that you as a neighborhood felt that it is useful. A children's playground, a dog park, some benches, a green park, some grassed area, anything, okay? So we double the effort that you have. So how did we do this? Okay, remember, we have an app. We have that cool app that everybody's using. And what we used is, first we knocked on every door to door. We said, hello, we are here to talk to you about waste management and the relevance that you have on the ecological footprint of the planet. Well, everybody thought that was like, yeah, that's really boring. It's Saturday morning, no. Okay, so let's change the way that we speak to people. Oh, I know. You want to save money? Raise your arms. Everybody raise their arms there. Okay, so what will happen is we explained them how this works and how easy it was. Okay, and a lot of people actually started to participate. They were really, really interested on this. And we're not talking about the youngsters. We're talking about all ages. And that was a really cool thing to see. Every month, we also deliver that orange bag. That's for organic waste. And why that's important, that's a lesson that we learned with this project, is that when we analyzed the different fluxes that we have here, we noticed that on this, we have a lot of organic waste. Organic waste is natural waste, it's food waste. So all you have to do is place it in one side, and it will create compost. And you can use it for many things, okay? So we didn't have this other one, this other bin. So what we managed was, we placed these orange bags on that neighborhood and just place organic food here. And when we drove that waste into the trial section, they would remove these bags. And the recycling rate would even increase even more. So that's what we did. And at the end of the month, you get that invoice. That's the invoice you get over there, okay? So it gets you the amount of points that you are given, the amount of euros that you would save. This was a legal version of rating your taxes, and how much you're helping everybody. Okay, that's what we did. But there's more, gamification and games and apps and everything. So what we did together with our partners is that we developed a lot of social actions. We're developing actually 6 or 7 apps. We're not using all of them, but they're really cool. Let me talk about the first one, which is the sunflower. That's compost app. Okay, so basically you use your phone and you learn how to do compost. Okay, so you see your waste, you characterize it. So what if I put an eggshell? What if I put garden trims? What if I put some salad there? What happens? And it will tell you the amount of time, of temperature that you need to create your compost and the amount of compost that you need. That's what we have. Then we have that's one of my personal favorites, which is the mayor table. You see those 4 guys with the round heads? Those are the consultants. That's the technical staff. And basically, when you're playing that game, you're the mayor. You're the mayor. So you see them and you say, you have a problem, you have an issue, a challenge, whatever. Okay, I want to organize an event, an ecological event, okay? But that raises challenges. So each one of them, which is the environmental expert, the technological expert, the financial manager, they all tell you what's the ups and downs, and you have to decide. And then you'll see your annual budget going up or down. So it's a game that kind of simulates what the mayor is going through. And sometimes you go bankrupt before the first year of your term. So yeah, that's not good for you, so you have to change it. Then we have Waste to Sort, which is it's a game about where you should put your waste, your types of waste. So there's like a conveyor belt going through, and you have to push the waste for the right bins really quickly. The more points you get, the better. Or you can you find out some waste and you have to change it yourself. That's what we have there. And then one very important app that we're developing, it's the eco design. So it's very similar to the mayor's table. What you're doing is, I want to develop some diapers over there. So diapers, what materials are you going to use? You know that different materials have a different ecological footprint, so it helps you to define the environmental impact of your product, and you have to develop the more the merrier. So 4 apps that are now actually on the iOS and the Android store, so you can download them and see the bugs for yourself because it's very recent. Okay, so early results. This is almost my last slide. Early results. Let's see. Do you think they're cool or not? Yeah, let's see. Okay, so 500 families participating. That's almost everybody on that neighborhood area, okay? Remember, this is a voluntary participation. Then we have 350 students already engaged using the apps, playing games, teaching their families about what we're doing here. We have the apps that I've mentioned, plus a few more coming through. And we have something very important for us, city manager, which is the level of satisfaction is high. So gamification actually helped us to get better rates. So the decision makers are really happy with this. Then we have the regulatory body. So the people that make the law are actually interested in this project. So yeah, since later 2018, this is possible, but we have to go thoroughly with a long process where you need to assess the calculation that all the expenses that we are doing on paid systems are actually transferred into your taxes. So it's not as simple, but we're working on that. And already, this is the 4,000 euros. It's the estimation for the first 3 months. So it's a lot of money that we would save, okay, if the paid was implemented. I bet all of you would like to save money, right? So that's what happened. So on those two charts that you see on your right is the active numbers of monthly users. Okay, you can only use that app one per family. Remember that, okay? So you can have one app on each phone, but it's the same account, so it doesn't count. So you can see some stability on the usage, okay? This ends in January, but until April, it actually stayed flat. So people are still using it. They're playing the game. So it's really cool to see that. And actually, the number of keys actually rose a bit more. So people are using more and recycling more. There's a lot of ways that you can cheat, obviously, but we like them to cheat because you're using the app and they're paying attention to this project and it's just not being forgotten. But very important for us, which is the increase of our recycling rate from 11% to 38%. That includes obviously the orange bags on organic waste. And that is great. That is great because it overshot our expected results. Okay, just to summarize, to finish, next steps and lessons learned. Okay, we are going to make this voluntary work mandatory. We're going to lock the bins. You know what's going to happen? People are going to place their garbage outside of the bins. And people are going to take pictures and call us nasty names on the internet. And that is great, because we didn't put the waste there, people did. Okay, so we're going to try that out to see if people they're feeling responsible for the waste that they produce or not. Then we are going to follow up a bit more on technological integrations. Okay, what does this mean? Because I have an app, I know the amount of waste that each one produces, and the neighborhood and everything. I can, through the app, through the gamification app, convert all the information to a management software that we're developing together with Mobile, which is a German company, and they can tell us exactly where should we go on the trucks, on which day, which bins, early in advance. So we'll save even more money on that management. So that's very useful for us. And then hopefully by the end of the summer, we'll have all apps altogether free, available, and you can use them freely in wherever you want. So if you are a city manager or if you're a service provider, consider this solution. And because we're talking about waste, but we could do this for health. We could do this for sport, as it was shown. We could do this for many other services that we, the cities, provide, okay? So what did we learn? This is for free, okay? I'm giving you this for free. Because since this is a Horizon 2020 project, it's an investigation project, and we need to write a lot of reports and share a lot of knowledge with people. And what I want to say is that let's share all this knowledge, and let's make all stakeholders in this business implement the lessons that we learn, okay? Very important. This is highly replicable. Anyone can do this. So the mathematics are simple. The applications are there. Just make sure you engage everybody with a good communication strategy. And that's it. And once again, I'm talking to you about waste. But you can do this for any other project, okay? For example, volunteering. If you go to a given area and do a volunteering activity, you can go out and you can take a photo of the QR code and you get the points because you were there. If you go do some sport activities and you climb some ladders, you go, okay, you climb some ladders, take a picture, and poof, you get additional points. This can be for everything that you can imagine. Then another thing is the contactless thing, okay? People don't like mechanisms. People don't like keys and stuff like that. They like their cell phone. Everybody likes their cell phone. So if you have some sort of blimp or some sort of pictures or something like that, that's enough. And we are doing that in another pilot area. We're going to place a QR code on the bin, and every time you use it, you take a picture and the phone knows that, okay? And you can't cheat on that because you can only take one picture per day. So you can stay at home, print the QR code and take a picture of it. But then the GPS knows that you're not there. So, yeah, I'm watching you, cheater. Okay. And all this integration is actually very, very beneficial. People love technology, people like to engage in new ideas, and people like to know that they're making a difference, okay? We have everything. We have people that are fans of this. We have cheaters that use this key. You can only use the key once a day. So they use it one day, and then the other day they go walk their dog at night, and they're like, beep, and they continue to walk, okay? It doesn't matter. People need to use this. We need to engage. We're engaging, even if it's healthy or not, so that's important. And then there's some questions about the financial aspects, and this is important because you both recycle, and I just told you that you pay more or less 10 euros a month on waste management, or every 2 months. But it seems that if we wanted to implement an individual paid, we would have to charge you 30 euros, and that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So, but the thing is, you pay 10 euros for an unfair system that produces a lot of environmental externalities, not just for us, but for others, because we don't treat the waste near ourselves. We treat the waste somewhere else. Someone else smells it at the end of the day, not us. Okay, but if you pay 30 euros, you will reduce those externalities. So who would like to pay 30 euros instead of 10 every month for the waste production? One over there. Okay, that's the issue that we're facing, okay? It's a challenge, but gamification is helping us to engage more and have different perspectives. Okay, so I guess it's thank you. It's over. What? Questions? Okay, is there any questions or ideas you'd like to share? If you have any challenges, you have the email and challenge us, all right? Take care.